Hello Leo, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is your weekly tarot forecast for the week of July 25th through 31st. Now, if you want to check out all of the past readings that we've done for your sign, you can click on the link that should be in that corner, and that will take you to your very own Leo playlist. So you'll have access to the monthlies and weeklies. Now, if you want to have access to the extended version of all of these readings, you can join the channel and become a member. That'll give you access to all of the extended readings for all signs, for all the weeklies, and all the monthly videos. And all of that information is down in the description box of this video. And there's also a join button on the main channel page. So please check that out. And also, if you haven't yet, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. It means a great deal to me, and I appreciate everyone who has been doing that lately. All right, let's get right into this for Leo and see what Leo needs to know for this coming week. What is the message for Leo, July 25th through 31st? What does Leo need to know? All right, we have the Magus. That is a great way to begin a reading. I like to see the Magus come out right away. However, I think I spoke too soon because it looks like it might be a little bit of a difficult time for you, Leo. I think you're going through some major changes in your life are coming. If you're not already aware of these changes and already experiencing some of these changes, I think you're going to really be going through a major transformation, a major change in your life, a major evolution of yourself, of your skills and abilities. I think this is kind of a leveling up for you. I think you're really going to be taking whatever it is that you do in life to the next level. And I say that because we have the Magus, and the Magus is the magician. The Magus is that person who is so strongly and deeply connected with their divine nature. They have control, and they have skill with all of the elements. They can really utilize all of the air, the fire, the water, and the earth to really accomplish their goals and achieve their ends. So I think that this is representing your situation where you really are in control of things. You feel like you're really you're really adept at what you're doing. You feel like you really have skill and a lot of accomplishment in whatever field you're in, whatever is your main focus in life. I feel like you're really in a good place with that. You're confident in your abilities, and you feel like you've got a lot of skill and that you're really doing a good job. And I think that you are. I think that that's true. I think this major arcana is a heavy influence on the situation right now. And it is saying that you're doing everything right. You've got all the skills and abilities, and you're really utilizing all of your natural talents. You're really utilizing also your, let's say, unnatural talents. You're using all of these things that you've learned, all of this wisdom that you've gained in your life, and you're putting it to good use. And you are in control of life and control of the situation. You feel like you are the big boss of things, right? And I really think that you are, but I think the situation that's coming this week is a little bit of a change in that attitude. I think it's going to be just a little bit of a wake-up call. It's going to show you that there is still a lot more work to be done. And I think that there is definitely this change coming for you. I don't think it's going to be a change for the worse. I don't think it's going to be anything negative, but I do feel like maybe you're going to be humbled a little bit. Maybe it's going to be a little bit of a wake-up call, letting you know that there is still more work to be done, more growing, more change, more evolution. This card, the keyword for this card, it's all about transformation and change, and one thing kind of morphing and becoming another thing. So whatever it is that you are focused on now with this Magus energy, with all of your skills and ability and this really strong concentration and focus that I think you have, in life right now, there's going to be a change in that. Something is going to transform, something is going to have to kind of evolve to the next level in terms of what you're doing and how you're approaching it, and just kind of the nature of your interaction with this project, this area of your life. Now, this could be, I mean, it's whatever you're focused on, really, right? If it's career, if it's family, finances, whatever, whatever is the main focus of your life right now, I think is going to involve some kind of change and evolution, and maybe a maturing of your approach to this thing. And I do see that there is some kind of disappointment that is happening as well. So I think that might be part of this wake up call that we're talking about. I think something is going to occur that is going to, um, you know, give you that wake up call. Something's going to occur that's going to be a little bit of a disappointment. It's going to be a little bit of a shock. It's going to cause a little bit of grief. Um, but I think that is kind of the trigger that you need in order to focus on your spiritual path, focus on your evolution, and focus on kind of the next stages in your life and the next the next phase of your path in whatever situation this is in your life. If we're talking about a family situation or something related to finances, or anything where you are actively trying to create a future for yourself, or actively trying to put all of your talents to good use, right? So I think something is going to pop up in the early part of the week, if it hasn't already, that is going to do a couple of things. First, it's going to spark this change, or this refocusing on the change, because this kind of a card, having the death card crossing your path like this, is indicating that it's more of a long-term transformation that's going on. It's not just something that is going to happen overnight. It's not like changing your hair color or something like that. This is it's a long-term thing. So it's something that maybe has been happening and kind of moving around in the background a little bit. Maybe it's not something that you've really focused on before, but I think if you use this minor disappointment that's coming to focus all of your attention and your concentration on the more broad picture, right? The larger scope of your life, I think you'll see how you've been kind of evolving this whole time. And maybe where you started, a year ago, 5, 10, 20 years ago even, you can see that there's been kind of a natural progression to where you are now. And the indication here is that this isn't the end of your path. This is not the end of your journey. That there is still more change, more evolving, more of this becoming that is in store for you. And so I think it's very, very important when we get the death card that crosses our path like this. I think it is showing that, you may think that you've reached the height of success in whatever field you're in, whatever is your main focus in life. I feel like you have this confidence in your skills and abilities, and maybe you think there's nowhere to go from here, that you've kind of reached the pinnacle of success. But the death card, especially coupled with that 5 of Cups, is saying, no, you might be ready for a little bit of a wake-up call. You might be ready for a little shock to your system that's going to remind you that, first of all, that nothing is ever finished growing or changing or evolving or becoming. Nothing is ever done, right? There's no kind of end to anything. It's just a transformation from one state to another. And I think that is really the important message with these 2 cards, is that you're going to need this little grain of sand, let's say, in your oyster, or this little shock to your system that will remind you that, yes, there is still more work for you to do on your spiritual path. And when I say spiritual path, that's really all encompassing. That is, it's not just your finances or your family or your work or your love life or, your creative endeavors or any of these kinds of things. It's not even the spiritual practices that you do like on a daily basis. This is, this is how all of that stuff affects you, and it is your view and your relationship with all of that stuff, right? You can have the same kind of spiritual relationship with um, with going to work every day and busting your butt at work as you can, doing your meditation or doing your prayers and your religious practices. It's all in how we relate to those things, and who we are on the inside, where we are coming from when we engage in any of those let's say mundane activities, the things that we're physically doing, even though they may have higher religious or spiritual implications. They're still physical activities that we're actively and intentionally engaging in. And so I feel strongly that this card is trying to remind you that you need to refocus on that broader aspect of your spiritual path, the more overarching um, uh, um, energy and relationship that you have with these tasks and with yourself and with your confidence and success and all of your skill and wisdom in the physical things that you're doing in the mundane world, right? Okay, moving on. I feel that you've got a tendency to overindulge in things. And again, this is speaking to what I was just talking about with the relationship that we have with all of these mundane things that we're doing. And so I think that you may have a tendency to get lost in the physical activities and the actual routines and the actual movement of the physical matter, right? And so I think that is causing a little bit of a disconnect with you from the true meaning of what you're doing, or the true implications, or your true, more spiritual, more subtle relationship that you have with these things that you're doing. Okay, I hope that makes some sense here. As far as the future is concerned, I think that this wake-up call isn't going to upset things very much in terms of your physical world. I think you're still going to have safety and security and stability, and nothing is going to be majorly upset by this. I think what it is just a little bit of maybe cognitive dissonance, a little bit of a wake-up call to you internally, a little bit of a wake-up in terms of your water, right? Your emotions, your desires, your relationship to those things that you do and how they make you feel, how you feel when you're doing them. And I think it's about renewing that sense of sacredness to these tasks and to these activities and these things that you do in life. I think the death card is really reminding you that you're in danger of losing that spiritual, religious connection to these activities and what these activities really signify in terms of your inner life, your spiritual life, the more subtle layers of your reality. And so I think this is about reconnecting with the sacred nature of life and of your interaction with these things and with your activities. Now, I don't know what kind of activities you're doing. I don't know what your main focus is in life. I would like for you to leave me some comments and let me know, like what it is that you're doing in life, and how this reading might be helping you to reconnect with the more spiritual implications of what you're doing and where you're focused in life, okay? I think you're also a person who doesn't take a whole heck of a lot of risks. We see the Eight of Discs here in the position of you and your ego and kind of your behavior. So I feel with the Seven of Cups here that you do sometimes overindulge in the material world. I don't mean that you're just drinking and partying and all that kind of stuff, though. I mean, that could be part of it too. I think this is indicating more of disconnecting with the sacredness of the physical world and of your physical activities. And this is just kind of taking pleasure in the physical activities themselves, with a disconnect from the true implications or the more subtle realities and the more subtle relationship that you have with these activities, okay? But I think generally you're not one to really take new risks or be too hasty or irrational in your decisions. I feel like you have a good head on your shoulders, and you know how to be cautious, and you know how to really use your resources correctly. And that goes back again to the Magus card, just kind of being in control of all of their faculties and really being able to focus their energy on whatever they choose and having that power of concentration to get stuff done. So whatever you put your mind to, you can accomplish. And I think you do accomplish it, even though it might be not as quickly as we might see with some fire cards, but it is more steady and more stable because you're taking your time with it, because you have this tendency to really focus on the details and really make sure things are done right. And so that's what I'm seeing here. I also see that you may be focused, or you may need to focus on your connection with your larger community. And this is going back again to what we said about making your activities more sacred, reconnecting with the sacred aspect of your life and of your activities, and where you're focusing all of your energy. And this may involve reconnecting with the broader community, either a lodge, an order, a church, a temple, whatever kind of group that you maybe used to associate with, that you don't so much anymore. And this could be also a school, it could be a larger family, it could be just your neighborhood, your community, anything like that. Any kind of a larger group that will allow you to see things outside of your own limited perspective. And that, I think, goes a long way towards realizing the more sacred nature of what we do, because we are then doing it not just for ourselves, but we are taking the needs of the larger community in mind as well. And so I think that gives us a little bit more connectedness. So this card, the Hierophant, is indicating that maybe you need to take a look at your connection with your larger community. And again, if that's going to be just your larger family, your neighborhood, the community that you live, or if it's a religious organization, a temple, an order, a lodge, anything like that, a church, anything where there is everyone is sharing kind of similar goals, similar sacredness going on with those kinds of connections. Now, I do feel that there might be some concerns on your part that all of your success in life is just kind of on the whim of the universe, that while you have all of the skills and wisdom and abilities and capabilities to make things happen and get things done, like we were talking about with the Magus card, I feel like there's a part of you that just kind of says things can be taken away just as easily as they were given. I think part of the underlying anxiety for you is the idea that no matter how hard you work, no matter how much success that you have, no matter how much skill and blood, sweat, and tears you put into what you do, no matter how focused you are and how hardworking you are, you do everything by the book, you maintain your rational thinking, and you do things in a very orderly and detailed manner. No matter, everything could be perfect, you could do everything right, but the universe could just take all of it away at a moment, just on a whim. And I think that is kind of an underlying anxiety for a lot of people. I know I've certainly felt that way a lot in the past, that, despite all of the hard work, having any kind of success is still scary, because you feel like it can just be taken away as easily as it was provided to you, even though it's not easy to get any kind of success in life, right? The world is a difficult place to live, and we put in all of this hard work, and it's rather disheartening to think that even though we're doing everything right, or everything according to the way it should be done, it can still be gone like that for literally no reason. So I think that is definitely a concern here for you. And as a final card that we're going to talk about, we have the Moon card. Now, the Moon card is sometimes showing us that we are kind of living in a fantasy world, that we might be deceiving ourselves, that we might be kind of lost in a dreamy state and not really in touch with reality. But in this case, I see that you are very much in touch with reality. We have the Four of Discs as kind of the immediate future, how things are going to go later in the week. Things are going to be stable, they're going to remain good, nothing to worry about there. I feel like with this Six of Discs at the top of the spread here, this is also reinforcing the idea that you have a lot of success, you're very good at what you do, and you're achieving a lot in whatever this realm is in which you're focusing all of your energy. Okay, and then we also have, like I said, the Eight of Discs here showing that you're making good decisions and you have a good head on your shoulders, a good, business sense, even though this might not be business related, you know what I mean. But then we end up with this Moon card, and I think the Moon card here is saying that, it might be time for you to kind of go below the surface of things, go below the surface of life, and go into that dream fantasy world of yours, in your imagination, in the spiritual realms and in the more subtle planes, and reconnect with that aspect of yourself and of your being, right? And I think this goes back to connecting with that sacredness of what we do in life. And I think, by taking a little bit of time to daydream, or do some creative writing, or just fantasize and just express kind of what's hidden in your unconscious mind a little bit, and reconnect with that kind of, the dark hidden side of yourself. I think that will go a long way with reconnecting with the sacredness, and also give you some insights into this larger, more long-term transformative journey that you are on, that all of us are on, really. But I think it's time for you to focus on that, focus on the sacredness of your life path, your spirit. And I think a good way to do that is to enter into your imagination, go down into the depths of yourself a little bit, and do some soul searching, some reconnecting with yourself, and some creativity. Allow that to be expressed in, writing, drawing, painting, poetry, any kind of art form that is just a pure expression of that unconscious, that dark hidden side of yourself, right? So I think that's what the Moon card here is saying. It's kind of giving you a practical way to do some of this stuff. And I see, from what I've said and what I've seen here, you are a very practical person, especially with the Eight of Discs and with the Magus here too, that you are a practical person. You like to have like concrete, pragmatic ways that you can achieve, some of these more abstract, ideas and goals, right? So I think the Moon card here is pointing in that direction, that it is time to kind of reconnect with that dark hidden side of yourself. But not to worry, it's not a place where you are really apt to get lost. I think you'll find your way back pretty easily, and I think that you'll have kind of a little bit of a different outlook when you go through this process of a deeper understanding of your unconscious nature. And again, this isn't something that is just going to just happen overnight. Oh, I do it one day and I'm done. This has to be also like a long-term process or practice that you incorporate into your life. And I think it'll really make a change, and really help you to achieve and to maintain your stability, your sanity, your safety, security, all the things that we get with the Four of Discs here that are in your more immediate future. So I think that really is what's going on with you, Leo, for this coming week. And this is, again, July 25th through 31st. I think we're going to end the reading here. If you want to see the extended version of this reading, you can become a member to this channel. And all of that information is down in the description box of this video. I thank you so much for letting me read for you today, and thank you for watching.